That I'm starting a live, and also I'm going live on YouTube. So for those of you who would like to join me on Telegram, please do so. Namaste, namaste. Good to have you all here. Hi, Fatim. Hello, everyone. And hello to everyone from YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm also live on Facebook too, but so far I know that I'm going live on YouTube for sure and Instagram. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to join. And also, I would love for all of you to invite your other friends to join me. Hello, Richard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm also live on Instagram. So the majority of my followers are Instagrammer, but either way, welcome from any platforms that you are joining me. So today I'm going to be doing a join live with a dear friend of mine, Vendo Try. We have been doing join lives many, many times previously. And now we're doing a join live. We're going to talk about our experiences. I had a retreat. I went to, Spain for 2 weeks, beginning of July. So it was huge there. And then I went to Turkey, and I also did a 2 weeks retreat in Turkey back to back. I usually have done, as you guys know me, many seminars all over the world, but actually this time it was the first time that I combined seminar and retreat together. So I was thrilled to see that over 100 of people showed up there. It was an amazing experience. We learned so much from each other. I learned so much from the attendees, and they learned so much from me. So it was great. And I know that when Trido, he also did a retreat. I'm just checking to see if he's here. Not yet. And I want to know what his experiences were. So we're going to be extremely transparent. Hi, Dr. Fariba. Welcome. Sudabe, welcome from YouTube. I think from what you guys know from me, Sudi Burnett, is that I had this urge from the young age to know the truth. And I was a seeker for many, many years. What is the truth? I wanted to know the truth. I wanted to experience the truth. And I have to say, in that journey, oftentimes I was very upset because my truth wasn't matching up with the outer world or with the society or with my culture and any of that. So I had years of anger. It wasn't a confusion because in my childhood and in my teenagers, I had a very inflamed ego. And my inflamed ego used to think that I know the truth and I'm living the truth. Why isn't everyone else understand that their truth is not the real truth? So that was my struggle for many, many years. I had a hard time. I often felt that we are very intelligent, and from a childhood, I always felt that I don't need to follow any kind of religion. I don't need some guru to come and tell me, because these are common sense. Nobody has to tell me that I shouldn't lie. Nobody has to tell me that I have to do the right thing. Oh my goodness, look who's here.
Hello, hello.
I miss you so much.
You've been real busy.
Oh my God, I've been busy, but we also missed you.
Here now.
How are you? What's going on in your world?
Still working on this book. I just got done with my retreat, and you got done with your retreat. So I am frantically writing as much as I can because my deadline is October.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's pretty much about it. I'm curious to hear how your retreat went.
I was just before you joined in, I just told everyone that I'm going to be extremely transparent, as my teaching always have been, that we have to speak the truth, we have to live the truth. So I'm not going to edit anything. I'm just going to give you the whole raw thing from the beginning of what happened. First of all, I have to say that I had over 100 people, and I didn't think, I was surprised myself, because I usually, when an idea comes to me, I just get it, and I don't picture anything of how it needs to go or how it's going to go. I just go with the flow. So I was surprised when I find out that we had over 100 attendees from all over the world, from US, from Canada, from Europe, from Middle East. It was overwhelming, yet I was very joyful. So when we got there, it took us the first 3 4 days. It was very difficult because, first of all, the original plan was that we don't want to go into a hotel. We want to have it kind of like a retreat like. So we had someone who find us 5 different tiny motels. They were beautiful with the view of water, everything, but there were a lot of problems with plumbing. Like people, the attendees will complain that their shower wasn't running well, or the sink wasn't going well, or when you take a shower, everything outside the floor gets wet, and we couldn't find out how this could happen. So we started with a big bang, and very soon we relocated to a bigger hotel that had a lot of um, outside. They had a swimming pool. There were 2 different huge piece of land which was surrounded by a lot of trees and everything. So everything worked out together. We caught ourselves at the third or fourth days, and it was kind of hard because I don't know if I'm going to check with you to see if you ran into the same issue, or is it because I was working mainly with a different culture, the concept of ashram or retreat wasn't very familiar. So from the day one, um, I put myself in a place of the attendees, and I started to clean up after everything. They were drinking, they had unlimited access to water, coffee, tea, any kind of drink. And I noticed when people were drinking their water, they would just throw the plastic somewhere. They wouldn't bother to go to the trash and throw it there. So I start picking up every little thing, the bottles, the napkins. And when they saw me doing it, 10 people would rush to me trying to get it for, no, 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 you're our guru, you shouldn't be doing this. And in a way, I was saying, I'm trying to be an example how the ashram is supposed to be a sacred place, and how each of us has to be behaving and treating this place that is so sacred. So eventually people got it. Not only they cleaned up after themselves, but we also start cleaning up different part of the hotel which was in nature. And I said, it's not about, oh, it's not my responsibility, it's the hotel's responsibilities. It's about us looking from above that this hotel doesn't belong to the owner or the landlord. This earth belongs to the Mother Earth. So it doesn't matter. I can walk on a street and notice trash and don't pick it up and say, it's not my fault. It's the city. I'm paying taxes. The city should clean it up. I got to be responsible enough to, pick up the stuff, because the real landlord is Mother Earth, right? So anyhow, it that was something that it took a couple of days. Then teamwork was a major thing, because I asked everyone to clean up after they had breakfast. Then for preparing lunch, 6 or 7 people will become volunteer to go in the kitchen to cook lunch, and then 6 or 7 people will go after them to wash the dishes, dry, clean up the kitchen. Again, the same thing for dinner. So people became very cooperative to just volunteer to cook, to clean up, to serve. And then the other part was like, I would walk in for breakfast and everybody was talking. And I said, hey guys, this is the ashram. How about if we start our morning with silence and have our breakfast in silence? And it took us maybe a week for people to get that concept. But I'm telling you, the second week, everything, people start knowing what it is. They felt the ashram. You start seeing the love and hugging and all of that. It took us a week for people to really get the concept. It was so much fun. They swam, they danced, they played music, they played volleyball, they played bat, every kind of thing. We had 2 different yogas with the different yoga teachers. One was taught in the morning, one in the afternoon. We had the swirling Sufi dance, and at night we had the ceremony. So I tell you how I got off schedule, because the original plan was meditation by the sea, 6 a.m. with Sudi Burnett. I was so exhausted from the ceremony the night before that went to 11:30 or 12. 6 o'clock, I couldn't be at the beach. So the guru kind of in waking up. I would still wake up at 4 a.m., right? Now, keep in mind that we had a different time zone, 12 hours time, different time zone from Los Angeles. That was a part of it. But the main part of it was I would do a lecture in the morning, most of the day. I was booked for session all the way till the afternoon. And then by 8 o'clock, we would start the music and ceremony that I was doing group healing till 10:30 or 11 at night. So I was really exhausted. So we just said, how about if we make the morning meditation later, so I can attend the morning meditation. So overall, on a nutshell, that was the whole thing. And when I got back, I said, now I get the concept. Now I'm ready to start. So I'm going to be looking forward, which I hope you can join me. Do one retreat in US. I don't know about the exact location, because I have some people are searching for me and they said the prices has shoot up crazy. My first place was Sedona, and they said, "Oh my God, Sedona is so expensive now. Joshua Tree is so expensive now." So we're looking to find a place for retreat, and then I will do one in Canada. Somebody is checking Vancouver, someone else is checking Toronto. They said Vancouver is way more expensive than Toronto. So, and the next one will be in Europe. So that's pretty much for me. How about you?
Oh yeah, so I had two students that traveled from Colorado to come see me, and I figured, what am I gonna do for 1 week with them? Their parents sent them down, so I said, got it. Then I last minute pulled this 1 week retreat, of which I required students having to call me first before they come here, so I can get a baseline of where they're at in life. How am I going to figure out how to fix certain problems for them? It's very tailored, very personalized, like very catered to them. And it worked out for the initial part of the thing. Buddhist retreat, particularly the way how I run it, is very psychological, very analytical. It forces the student to really face their problems. And I think that people in the West here, the majority of them, really doesn't want to face their problems. So they tend to run away after the first couple of days. Now, what was impressive is the amount of young people that came and how committed they were. And particularly the two students, they're so young that I'm thinking 17 and 14, I'm thinking that they're not listening and they're not watching. But when I did the review, every night every night I would turn on my YouTube and I would sit here right in this little couch and I would ask them, what did you guys learn today? Let's do a review of what you learned. And it's amazing. They told me 80% of what happened in the week. And they kept me laughing the whole week. And I was just so tired. I was so tired from laughing, but not from the retreat. But I'm just like, the little things that they do is so funny. And the point of the retreat was to help me unblock the blockages that I had in order for the book to flow, in order for information to flow into the book. So I figured that the retreat was actually more for me than for them, so that everything that I have learned and what I want the world to know about how to use the Buddhist method to achieve peace. And the whole retreat did exactly just that. It was really good. I learned a lot. I think every retreat makes us better teachers. We learn from the crowd, their behavior, the way how they think, and how to make the next retreat best, how to make a better retreat after another. And so, yeah, I look forward to you coming to the United States for us to do a retreat together. I think that would like, boom. I mean, they were like, oh my God, a female teacher, a male teacher, she teaches her way and he's a Buddhist monk. Oh my God, what's going to happen? They don't know what. So
yeah.
It's a joint collaborative effort with different techniques from two different worlds joined together, just so that they can make sense of their world. I think yours is a lot more fun versus ours. Again, ours is diving deep within the mind. Yours is more, spiritual, soul, nurturing the soul, dancing, expressions, a lot of expressions.
Yeah, yeah. I have to tell you, Ben, because I've been, for those of you guys who know me, I got diagnosed with OCD many years ago in my youth. And also, I knew that I had ADHD from childhood. So I couldn't sit down, I couldn't be still. And sometimes when I look back, I just laugh because I see how the universe is just cleverly put up pieces of your personality for the lesson and growth that you have to go through. I mean, I was so hyperactive that no classroom the teacher wanted me to be there. They would just tell me at the beginning, would you please leave? And a lot of them, they just told me behind the scene that we're going to pass your number. Just don't come in the class, because I was so hyperactive. I couldn't sit still. I would get the other kids engaged. So when I look back, I see, referring to how universe is even giving you the personality to start with and see how far you can go. For someone like me with ADHD and OCD, I became a spiritual guru who can sit now quietly, mindfully, in peace for hours. I mean, in the retreat, I would do maybe in a day, I had a day that I did 17 private coaching sessions in one day. And the whole time I'm sitting and listening and of course, the whole time I cannot get the whole credit because I was high the whole time, not with drugs or not with psychedelic. I was high just from the space and all the guardian angels, and we were laughing because I used Pleiadians that were created that space of high healing energy. And the other thing was, I couldn't talk to anyone who got a session more than 4 or 5 minutes before they went into a deep trance. And we would move them and lay them under the shade on top of a grass. They would be gone for an hour, for 2 hours. Some of them, they were even gone for, sometimes they would come to me and they said, you know, the guy that you work on, he's been 4 hours and he's not back yet. What shall we do? I was like, just let him be, because I know I've been in that state that you're in, like full trance, and you're seeing all this beautiful and you're having all this journey, and it's the worst thing to come and get you out of there. So I let people have their journey as long as they want. And I didn't use any psychedelics because I knew if I was using anything, like so many people were like, can you serve mushroom or ayahuasca? I said, no, I am not doing that, because I'm kind of fearful of the the outcome, people go through so much stuff, and I don't want to deal with lawsuits and all this stuff. So I said no. But everyone could experience um, taking psychedelics, go to that hallucination stage, go to that healing state, without the downfall of one of the reason that I never wanted to take ayahuasca again, because I hate that nauseated feeling, So I felt like you kind of, with psychedelic, you kind of keep coming back to the physical body because of those bad sensations, because of feeling of purging, throwing up, nausea in your stomach, or heart palpitation. So
Right.
for that, I am not, I'm like, no, I'm not using anything. But yet you can have the same experience. And I think this is so much more powerful, because people can just go to that higher realm and don't get pulled back into their physical body to have the half experience instead of a full experience. You know what I mean? I mean, I heard from one of my client that she went and she tried mushroom, and she said she felt so much pain in her stomach and nauseated that she couldn't experience anything. So she went to um, one of the teachers there and said, look, I'm feeling really sick. I have this really high heart palpitations. I'm feeling nauseated. And they were like, well, you just have to go and surrender more. And she was like, she said, I got pissed off and I left. What do you mean? If I would love to surrender, but I'm feeling really sick. So what I'm saying is people can go to that state without having all this downfall. And yeah, so it would be, yeah, it would be really lovely for us to do this because going back to what I was saying, that I have been so hyperactive that I start introducing walking meditation for some people. And in my retreat or my seminars, we play music. People are doing active meditation. They're doing a lot of dancing to take them to that state of, you know, um, selfless, flowless, and sort of like hallucinations. So it would be nice when we do a joint retreat together that you can take them to that pure silence Buddhism style, and I can take them to that active part of meditation and movement.
I think it's a good balance because sitting there all day meditating is do it for a lot of people, but for the retreat, my retreat, what I number one, they never sat long, right? They sat for a little bit, and then I took them to see dolphins on a boat, actually out in the ocean. So then we came back, so it was fun, and then study and practice, and then back to fun again. So it's one day fun, one day practice, one day fun, one day practice. It was never a dull moment. It was never a dull moment because I don't want people to go through the training that I received, which is quite boring and dry. It's monastic training. So in order to keep the modern day young student engaged and on point, you know, we have to come up with ingenious ways to keep them stimulated. So
yes, beautiful. By the way, Richard from YouTube, he sent us a location. He said an option for location. Richard, thank you so much. For sure, we're going to look into that. But where's the location? Is www.PADMASAMBHAVA.org.
When are you planning to hold your next one in the U.S. next year or this year?
No, this year. We're just looking for location. We're searching for location to see.
Definitely St. Pete, Florida. Definitely where I reside, because we have 3 bodies of water. We have 3. You have 3 bodies of water. We have you just look up St. Pete, Florida, and you will see how much the city has to offer in regards to food, hotels, land, water. I mean, just the attraction here. We are a gold mine right now in the United States. We right now is a gold mine. The housing market is just spiked up.
Oh my God!
Really, from a $200,000 home to $600,000-$700,000 home because of the 3 bodies of water, the peninsula. Yeah.
Okay.
You have to think the experience of a student that wants to meet you and always looking for a vacation. That's what they want. They want not to just learn and practice. They also want like a nice place to eat, to experience the ocean. Everyone needs to be near the ocean. We all can agree on that. We all want good food. We all can agree on that. So St. Pete's got like some of the finest restaurants, steak, seafood you can imagine. I mean, what more do you ask for? So I would really invite you to really consider it, because I can't think of anything else. Not Orlando, not Miami, not Texas, not North Carolina, South Carolina, New York. It's not safe. LA is not safe. Seattle's not safe. So, we have where we are here in St. Pete, it's very safe. So, and plus,
I have to tell you.
Wait, because I'm stuck with this book and my local commitments here locally to the monasteries. So
listen, I love you because the Florida wasn't even in my mind, and now as you said Florida, I was like, First thing I said, my judgment said, here we go again. When wants to be the most convenient? That was the first thought. And then the secondly, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about Florida. You're absolutely right. We will look into it. By the way, Nasrin said, I have your place in LA, which I don't know where that is. Expert exclusive life consultant. She said, I personally do not recommend psychedelics for deep meditation. Instead, I recommend sound vibration frequency meditation. I love you too, honey. You're absolutely right. I'm much more into sound and music and dance. We can breathing. We had breathing technique, which are really powerful. With breath, we could also reach that state of hallucination. And also, thank you, love. And also, like I said, the active meditation and dancing, also the swirling dance, the Sufi dance that we teach you. You go around and around. You just get this state of um, going unconscious, not unconscious in a bad way, or getting out of your mind. So when, I don't know if you're familiar with swirling dance. Are you? Sufi dance?
Monks cannot dance, cannot engage into
Oh,
entertainment.
come on. We're going to get you and all your monk friends to dance on.
Girls can be like, oh my God, he's dancing. So I'll try it just because.
No, you know what? No, don't say that, because when we do a retreat together, you got to invite all of your monks' friends, and we all gonna do the swirling dance together, and we're gonna do the Persian dance together. So get that out of your mind. My retreats and seminars are extremely active. I don't let people sit down for long. But the swirling dance is the Sufi dance is when Rumi, you know the poet, Rumi started to take a pole and go around the pole. After a while, he realized that this will take him into a state of higher consciousness, and that's where he was getting a download from the poems. So he would start swirling around this pole, and the poem will come to him. He would say it loudly, and people would write it down. So I think, don't take me wrong, I think it's from there where the Sufi, the swirling dance, started to come out and become popular. So yeah. Okay. So we my retreat and seminar was about, the topic was selfless. How to become selfless, how to become um, like a flow of river. And we worked a lot on um, taming the mind and the ego. So I would have daily lectures, but then again, I would ask people not to join together as a group right after the lecture. I would ask them to start walking around, go somewhere, sit silent, or walk in their silence, and try to see how it feels in the body to be selfless, to be flowing. What do you have to say, first of all, about this? And secondly, we want to know all about your book. What is it about?
So selflessness is a very important thing. It is the one thing that will lead to very long-lasting happiness, because you're thinking about other people, not with yourself. Where we get ourselves in trouble is when we constantly think about ourselves, me, mine, I, my self-image, my self-performance, what I want, this is what I need, I, all. And in Buddhism, it's pretty simple. Give more and take less. That's how you become selfless. Selfless act of service to others. Everything in you, give, and then become selfless. And again, you live a good life now. Later in your older days, you can relive life again, knowing that you get so much and so many people have benefited as a direct result of your giving and generosity, the priority of generosity. And it's exactly what we need more now. I think that was a great topic that you mentioned in that retreat of yours. The book is tentatively called Buddhism Now, and it's using the immediate teachings, some of the most potent, rapid teachings of the Buddha to treat modern day stressed humans, of which is what we're seeing, which is what we've been seeing before COVID, then now. So it uses the best available science, the best available examples from actual real humans in cases, to give examples of breakups, relationship breakups, controlling, and ego, and all of that, greed, anger, delusion, and how to deal with those and how to achieve peace. I did my program online, the cognitive behavioral therapy program online in my YouTube. And then I ran it for the past 2 years, 3 years actually, talking about it. So I have a lot of psychological data, a lot of scientific data, empirical data that I have gathered through all of my students, all the assignments that they did, what they reported back to me, the effectiveness, the efficiency of CBT and Buddhism joined together. So it's going to be like maybe I'm hoping a 300-page book, maybe a little bit less. But everything that I have been teaching over the past 5 years, it's all in that book. So for people who don't have the time to sit and watch and listen, then I have a book in their hand and they can read it at their own time, their own leisure. It's just like taking me with you in your purse. I wasn't ready to write a book, but the fact that the publisher reached out to me, I thought that was something very different. And it was an opportunity of a lifetime to leave, again, a gift to the world, selflessness, giving all of very generous with my talents and my wisdom that I have gathered over the past 35 years so that the world can use and live in harmony with each other.
Beautiful. So are you thinking about making it as an audio too?
They're going to worry about all of that. All the publishers and the podcast people and all, they're going to do, they're going to do that. Every time when you have a celebrity monk or anyone that is very influencer type thing, they're going to jump in it. Right now, I got a group in Germany that's asking me to do NFTs, and I'm trying to educate myself on NFTs.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Non-fungible token is kind of like crypto something. They actually have behind me is the Buddha, but they actually have a little Buddha that they made of me. They're like, "Sit down, monk." And it's really funny. They have the little Buddha monk actually wears glasses, and it's literally a little image of me that is going to be circulating around the world. And if people like me, they will invest in it. And I'm thinking maybe this is one way to expand Buddhism or something. I have a lot to think about. But there's a lot of programs that they want me to collaborate and join. But I don't have to worry about all the technicalities of audiobooks or something. I know they're going to be all over it. Just like the podcast that I did in the beginning of being a monk, all of a sudden, it's like now in people's iPhones. And you go to your iPhone podcast and you put Chi Dao monk or Venerable Chi Dao. And it's like, ta-da. And I was like, oh, goodness, look, I'm in people's pockets now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, after we did this retreat together and you learn how to do the Sufi swirling dance, maybe we change your name to Swirling Monk.
They're going to do it. Like the fact, so I know the other monks are probably not going to dance with me because they have very strict rules. You got to think that I am a very prolific spiritual leader, controversial spiritual leader, because I am doing things that monks typically don't do.
Yeah.
The program have, and even wearing purple robes, of which you're allowed to wear purple robes, but Thailand don't wear purple robes, so they blasted me on the news. First, they praised me. They're like, "Oh my God, he's inspiring millions of people," and then a couple months later, they're like, "We don't understand why he's wearing purple robes." But you can wear purple robes. Any color from the tree that falls to the ground, you can wear. So, it's like praise and blame. But at this point in my life, I'm like, I really don't care, because the Dalai Lama is a spiritual leader, a supreme spiritual leader. I am, by measurement of social media, numbers, maybe just kind of underneath that, just not too far from that. I mean, you see him dancing with Desmond Tutu. So, the question here is that, how do we inspire young people to find the middle way of spirituality? And if I need to put myself dance a little bit, and then people are like, "Oh my God, look, Buddhism is so chill," then I would do that, because I'm saving lives and I'm inspiring young people. And if they want to write news and put it on CNN, I don't really care, because I'm just a visitor. I take nothing personal. I'm like, call me whatever you want. I'm deaf. As soon as they start blaming or praising, I'm just like, huh? What? So the Buddha would want me to do, just play deaf. So yeah, but I'm excited. I mean, if you guys
yeah, we're gonna look into Florida. Yes. And
November.
And what is your location exactly?
St. Petersburg, Florida, or Tampa, Florida. Any one of those, you'll pop up on the map. The closest airport here is Tampa International Airport, TPA.
Got it.
TPA. I will text you that when we're done. But I think you're going to have a great time in Clearwater Beach, Indian Rocks Beach, Madeira Beach, John's Pass. I have a little secret place for you. And when you go there, you're going to be in paradise.
Woo!
Do you listen, Sudi? Do you see how young I look? Do you see the skincare?
Yeah.
Okay, look. All of this right here that everyone is seeing is a direct result of St. Petersburg, Florida. The fun that you can have here, the sun, the fun, the meditation, the chill, the ocean, it will do this to you. This is the perfect product right here. This is the selling point. Right?
I was thinking that you're going into nature and you're rubbing your face against the trees, or what are you using that first morning dew of the spring over the flowers. I thought that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed now. Okay.
It's gonna do damage, but I don't use skincare. It's about making the best out of what you have. And I could not believe that St. Pete, Florida was a gold mine, like literally a real estate gold mine, because it started booming over the past 2-3 years with rent hiking and all of these hiking. And I'm like, what's happening? And they're like, well, there's nowhere out there in the US where you're surrounded by 3 sides of water, no matter the east, the west, and no matter in Florida where you go, you are never 60 miles away from water.
That is true. That is very true.
And Sudi, I really want a beach house here as the monastery, because you see,
listen. Let me tell you something. When I went on my retreat, people who were attendees there, they are ready to sell everything and just come to start up the ashram. Okay. So we look at some land. Actually, I was staying in a motel, and the owner of that tiny motel, which was very cute, he was German. So somehow the second day, because where we had the retreat, it was such a small village that as we came in, it was like boom. Everybody knew that 100 of foreigners came to their little village, so everybody knew who we were. And the German guy, he came and he watched my ceremony at night. So the third night, when I went to my motel, he said, look, I looked you up on YouTube. I really believe in you and your vision and what you're doing. So here's what I have come up with. He had the whole ashram planned out for me with meditation and yoga center in the middle. And he said all around it, 50 little tiny, like dorm or something is going to be already made, is going to be boom, boom, boom. I'm going to come with half of it and you come with other half. And I said, I really like you, but this is ashram is a place that I'm doing for a huge community. I cannot go partner up 50-50 with someone because that's going to danger my whole community. I cannot make that decision. And I backed up, but he said, I just want to work with you any way you want. So we said, let's look into land. And they looked in land for me. 2 acres of land in a little village, 3 hours away from Istanbul, $500,000. And I said, this is crazy. I can pay that money in US. And they were like, yeah, you know what? We Turkish people don't even know what's going on. The price of land is shooting up really quickly. So some of my followers, devotees, they went to another city which called Van. It's at the border of Turkey and Iran. They find 4 acres of land for $200,000. So at the moment, what I'm saying, we're opening up to everything. I know in Indonesia, you can buy your own island for $500,000. But then we're thinking, at the beginning, I was like, this is fantastic. But then we have to think about electricity, water, gas, and all this stuff. Plus, I'm imagining when you have your own island, everything has to be coming to you. So it's going to make everything. But my concept of ashram is the community, the same mind people. They get together with the same vision, and they're all selfless. They're not thinking about what's in it for me. They're not saying how much am I putting, why isn't everybody else putting as much as I'm bringing in. And we disconnect from the outer world, like we're going to do our own agricultures, our own growing, our own farms, and animals and all that. So I'm thinking eventually it's going to be hard when you buy an island at the beginning, because you have to have electricity and water and gas maybe, but eventually we're going to be self-sufficient enough not to need stuff to come from anywhere else to us. But we're open. So everybody is looking all over the world to see where is this most suitable place, and we're just looking to start up the ashram. So what I'm saying is, of course, once we get the ashram, you can be a part of it and you can do whatever plan that you want over there too. Is because this community is going to be international, is going to be regardless of what color, what race, what religion. You can have any religion and be a part of ashram. It's about a community that there is no religion being practiced. The only religion we have is love, light, compassion, kindness. This is our religion. So anybody is welcome, and anybody can also do their practices, whatever they have. So what do you think about that, Ventral do?
I'm still, yeah. You know what? Anywhere that has ocean, I'm there. I'm there. I'm gonna start. Hopefully this will move on about quickly. And heck, maybe I sell so many books, I have enough money to get a beach house here and make it into a monastery. And that I arrived to that conclusion because of the enormous amount of research on the Blue Zone project. That if you're near water, you will be at peace. You're more likely to be at peace. And so a couple of days ago, I was a little, there was things on my mind, and I just wanted to just lie down on the sand. It's not the first time I've lied down on the sand and recorded myself meditating, lying down meditation, but I just kind of like went to sleep, like I always do, actually. I put my cushion, I took my outer robes, and I folded it into a pillow, and I just kind of like just lie down there. And I took a couple of deep breaths, and then when you wake up from it, you can feel the sand sucking away all of your problems. You wake up a brand new person. You wake up so light that you feel like you're an angel flying on earth. And what I did not know was that the whole world loved that image. The whole world was literally doing this as I was sleeping. 800 people on TikTok. I've never had 800 people on TikTok watch me. You get like 200, 180, whatever. When I woke up from it and I looked at my TikTok, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like 40 people, because who wants to watch me kind of lay down on the beach with this in the back? 800 in Taiwan, around the world, they were like, oh my God, we really wish we were there. And they watched me for like an hour. They didn't just sit there. I mean, I think they were just, they had a cup of coffee and they were like, oh my God, and I just kind of drank, and I just really wish that they were there with me doing this. So I know the therapeutic power of the ocean and the sand and the environment that we have right here at home, right over there. So I got to do it. Either a beach home or living on a yacht, which just sound really extravagant for a month. But if you think about it, the therapeutic effects of getting away from the city, meeting a monk on a yacht to meditate, all your problems are back at home. It's literally traveling, but not too far from actually traveling.
Yeah. So first of all, going back to 800 people watching you, you can translate it as, oh, really, people would sit down and they wish that they were there and they were having the same experience. Or if it was me, I would have think, oh my God, that just showed me how many people have nothing to do, to sit down for an hour and watch a boring monk laying down on the sand at the beach. I could have translated this way. What do you say?
These, which is the ones that using TikTok, the Zoomers are the ones with really bad ADHD. And
really?
Oh yeah. So
I learned something new from you now. I didn't know that.
I'm a scientist. You know that. The whole world knows that. I'm a scientist, so I gather a lot of data and I measure them. I secretly measure them. I secretly follow them, and I secretly know exactly how they behave, what captures their mind, what is popping, what is not popping, how they get bored, how they jump from one thing to another. I guarantee you, number one, I've never had 800 people who are bored, because that better think that swipe and try to look for big booty girls or really hot guys and listen to music and watch people dance or be stupid or try to break a bone. Okay. I guarantee you there was something about that ocean, that beach, and something about a monk lying there, because you don't ever see monks laying down, because when you see a monk laying down, he's either dead or he has reached nirvana. And the fact that they saw me breathing and just the peacefulness of that view, just like how we go on a computer, and if we get really stressed out at work, we just kind of put island, or we put beach, or we have a beach screensaver, or we look at Google Images and we realize, wow, I'll be damned. I wish I was at that cave. I wish I was at there. And, it just takes your mind away. Mm. But the fact that there was a human in there, which just so happens to be me, laying there, a monk laying there on the ocean, enjoying the sun and the ocean and everything like that, it really resonated with people. And I got to do it a couple more times to really see if that was actually their intent. or in fact, they were probably bored. But
No, maybe I'm guessing a lot of them were just there to see, is he dead or is he still alive? I think a lot of them, out of that curiosity, were hanging there to see, if you're dead, are you going to start moving or walking around? But here's listen to this. If
they're
eight,
not,
huh?
they're boomers. They're not dumb. They come into my TikTok like every time when I hit live, you get like 300 or 200, and as soon as they find out what are they talking about, they're like, oh, ego, oh no, or breakup or love. Then they stay, and they're there to listen to like just a couple minutes. Trust me, they're not dumb. Trust me.
No, I'm just pulling your leg. But other thing is, imagine if 800 people on TikTok watch you just laying down on a sand and playing dead. Imagine how many people are going to be watching you while you're actually doing the swirling dance.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. And then
you probably going to jump up to 10K people watch. A monk is doing a swirling dance. What is that about?
just like Sadhguru, like he was really he was into the dance when we was at the Shiva convention. And we saw him just at it, and I was like, oh my god, this man is really joyful right now. He is in the moment.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
I was Googling this the other day, since you're a scientist, the only scientist that I know in my entire life. I was thinking, does Sadhguru or Till Swan and these people that they keep rising up and up, do they have a publicist?
Yes. So their true personality is that's who they are. This is how they talk to people, and this is how they answer questions, which is kind of like me. You get what you're looking at. This is not fake. This is not a fake personality. This is who I am. You ask me a question, and I'm going to answer it truthfully, honestly, and that's how I feel about it, and that's what the textbook says. Sadhguru, clearly, you see that he's very knowledgeable, and so on and so on. So, but yes, the fact that he's gotten really big, and in order to ensure the survival of his tradition and heritage, yeah, there's going to be a team. He's probably got a whole team, probably like 15 to 20 people that's constantly looking to promote and market and do all of that good stuff. It's no different here that you see on Instagram where they're like, oh, you want to make a post? Oh, you want to boost the post for like $100 or $50 or $20? And I can tell you, Sudi, I don't know how to do that. And because that's true. But to me, I don't have the time for it. But you see the younger generation really trying to get popular with whatever it is they're doing, skateboarding, dancing, singing. I'm getting the followers. I think last time we talked, I was at like 34,000, and now it's at 39,000. Is buying through some of these teachings, and they keep on sharing them. They keep on sharing these teachings. You look back at some of the videos on my timeline, and it's just a hit. It hits them so hard and so deep that they're like, oh my god, I never thought of it like that, or you know what I mean? And so the algorithm on TikTok and the algorithm of Instagram, it's a constant monitoring. People on Facebook, they're probably asleep. I don't know what's going on with Facebook people, but they're missing out, I would say. But the Instagram people and the TikTok, the Instagram is really into spirituality, like right now. They're really in tune with their emotions and thoughts and feelings right now. So anything that has to do with that particular subject, they're really resonating. They're opening their hearts to the teachings right now, any teachings right now. Either it's Hindu, Buddhism, or any tradition that has to do with the human psyche. But Facebook people are just like, oh, we just want to look at pictures, and it's really nice. Oh, okay, all right. And then they go back. The Facebook crowd right now is not, to me, based on my own measurement and metric system, I cannot say that Facebook is all about spirituality right now, because it's not showing. It's not. No
Yeah.
results.
So going back to when this clicked for me, that Sadhguru, how does he become so suddenly big, or till Swan? Like till a couple of years ago, they were moving, coming up, but all of a sudden, when you see a quick jump that they reach over 10 million and that stuff, you start to wonder something is going on, and what is it? And what I'm sharing with you right now, it's personal. Please hear me out.
Mm.
It's solely my personal opinion, which I hope doesn't affect anyone else. But I read people energetically. When I see someone or when I hear someone, I have access to check the whole Akashic record. I see every little detail. I scan people, and the first thing I do, I scan them not on physical body, but I scan their truth level. When I saw Sadhguru the first time, I didn't find him genuine. I didn't find him. I find a very sharp, savvy businessman who his mind is constantly clicking on comparing, like, oh, Osho had 3 point some billion dollars. I'm going to be reaching there. And the tactic, because he's all brain. When I see Sadhguru, I see him, his mind is clicking, his mind is ticking. And if you notice, he's very funny, he's very, but he never really respond back to the question directly. He doesn't educate people, or he doesn't share the education or the knowing freely. And I watched a piece of it. Someone sent it to me, or somewhere I saw it, which I find him very sarcastic in a rude way. A girl asked him. He said, "Sadhguru, um, why are we drinking milk?" And then he said, "How old are you?" And then she said, 30. And he started laughing, that big laugh that he has, that, oh, you're way past the milk, drinking milk. And then the girl said she started to get into, like that monk, that he's like, we shouldn't be eating animals, they're going through so much suffering, we shouldn't even be drinking their milk and that stuff. So that's the monk view of animals and eating and this stuff. And then Sadhguru went on, and she says, no, but I was going, that is it right for us to use the animal and this and that? And then Sadhguru said, well, in a very sarcastic, rude way, he said to her, he said, she with the first comment, she said, I didn't get it. And then his response was, well, then go back and drink your milk. And he started laughing again. And I find that response not directly responding back to what she was saying. I find it extremely sarcastic and rude the way he responded back. And that's my personal opinion. But what I'm saying is, and I know that he's very smart. He's all about mind. I don't know what his horoscope is, but the energy that I'm getting is extremely Gemini, like Mercury, very fast thinking mind, very sharp, very savvy. And maybe I
The
shouldn't, huh?
the when we profile prolific spiritual teachers, which will also include Dr. Phil, okay, when you look at these people who engage with the public a lot, and including myself, Sadhguru, Dr. Phil, some of my notable teachers, they're, students, it's really hard to judge unless you got to be there, and you got to know who the student is. And like nowadays, I mean, if I was to hold a microphone right now in front of like thousands of people, I would want to get some background information about the students before they ask. They ask a lot of foolishness, and they also ask out of convenience rather than anything. So, I've had, like one of my teachers, Venerable Asagami, when people ask him questions that does not relate to human suffering, does not relate to how to alleviate human suffering, he says, you don't need to know that. When you reach enlightenment, you will know. And that's it. That's his response. It's a very straightforward and somewhat a person could say arrogant, or if they didn't really know him, they would be like, well, that was really rude. How's that going to help this student achieve enlightenment if you just say that? The Buddha the same way. The Buddha, during his time, when people ask him nonsense questions, he tried to use stories to help them understand that, like they would ask the Buddha, like, does the universe actually exist? How many stars do we have? When did life begin on this earth? And the Buddha used this analogy. He said, and I have a bow and arrow here. The bow is somewhere over there, but this is an arrow tip that goes onto the bow. It's a very nasty arrow tip. And the Buddha says, if someone shot you with this right now, okay, are you going to stand there, or are you going to ask, where did this come from? Who made this? Is it made in China? Is it made in the U.S.? Who shot me? And the Buddha says you would die before you get all of your answers to the question that you have. What is important right now, the Buddha said, is that focus on the arrow and how to remove it skillfully, wisely, and intelligently so that you survive. So what he meant was that questions outside of human suffering is nonsense, and it's a waste of time. Why don't you resolve your human suffering first, achieve happiness, and then go after the existential philosophical questions? But the Buddha had a very unique way of meeting the student where they're at, skillfully meeting where they're at, to not be rude, arrogant, or to sound condescending, or to put people down, or the perception that the Buddha is putting someone down. Quite frankly, dealing with the public, you see that Dr. Phil also is very straightforward with people. He will call a person out right there on live TV. Like, there's some of the stuff you see on his face, and you're like, you can't make this stuff up. Dr. Phil is really agitated right now with this particular guy that is dodging a question from Dr. Phil. And he'll bring him on a show, and he'll be like, you have a doctorate too? You have a PhD too? Where'd you get your PhD? And the guy's like, from some sort of a Virgin Island or the Maltese or whatever. And the doctor's like, there's no university there. Try again. And so a very straight, direct thing. And when a person rises to the level of a supreme spiritual leader, your demeanor will change in order to tame people that needs to be tamed. And that's a policy that I have actually been contemplating in my head, is because, you know that I have a lot of followers, and a lot of them are not a lot of them. There's a few of them that are disrespectful and rude, and you know what I mean? And I'm asking myself, Venerable, when you hold a microphone in front of thousands of people, and one of these guys try you in public at a book signing event or something, how are you going to tame this person? How are you going to tame their ignorance? How are you going to put them in their place? Are you going to throw a lightning bolt at them, of which you have full rights to do, and the whole world will watch as you throw this lightning bolt at them? Or are you going to approach it intelligently and wisely? And it would take me a moment to sit with the question, internalize it, process it, and come up with an answer that is appropriate as the whole world is judging. So one of these days, you're a woman and you're wonderful and you're beautiful. So I'm pretty sure you don't have that many people that tries you. But Buddhism, our tradition and heritage and history have a lot of issues. There is corruption in Buddhism. There is sexual misconduct in Buddhism. There is killings in Buddhism against the Rohingyas, of which I have remained silent over the past 7 years and not comment on that yet. And they're still waiting for me to comment on the killings of the Rohingyas overseas. So of course, yeah, I wear this uniform, and I know that people are going to be like, "You guys are killers," or or all these little things that they don't really know the full context before they talk about. And as a Buddhist monk, we have to carry ourselves in a way that the Buddha would. Like one of my response has to be as if I'm the Buddha, as if the Buddha is sitting right here watching me and listening to me respond to these people out there. If not, I would in turn destroy Buddhism. I would destroy the one thing that I stood up for and is trying to inspire so many people to think, behave, and feel, and to achieve enlightenment. It's just everything I stood up for. It could cost me everything. It could cost us everything by one display of anger, or one word, or a wrong lightning bolt, or a lightning bolt that does not constitute right speech. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is the timing of this speech correct? So literally, Sudi, every time when you ask me a question, it has to go through a filter very quickly. So great spiritual leaders are savvy, are intelligent, are smart, are business-mindedness, but you have to define what is the business aspect part of it. One example is the temple monastery in Thailand called the Dhammakaya. And the guy, the head monk there is Venerable Jaya, Thammajayo. Thammajayo is an international fugitive right now. They wear a particular monk robe that is very distinct. It is a different yellow and gold that only represents that particular school. So he made this temple enough to house I think 500,000 or 1 million people. Literally 500,000 or 1 million can fit in this temple with 50,000 monks sitting around it. You see an ocean of orange. Those are the monks. So he was wanted because there was 50 million or $1 billion something that was stolen from a bank. And they're like, well, where's the money? And we can't find Thammajayo. So again, when you profile him, you see that he is very surgical with his words. He is a Advent fundraiser. But you got to see I'm not defending him. I don't even know him. But I see the great good deeds that these great spiritual leaders have done, which is that they created a place, an ashram, a temple, a monastery, a church, and people come there to worship. People come there to remind themselves, don't cheat, don't lie, don't kill, don't steal, do what the Buddha wants you to do. And these guys are just a messenger. You got to separate the message from the messenger. So, because we're easily watching the messenger, we're like, you look sketchy, you look like a thief, you look like a rapist. But we're missing the point that we're there to do God's work. We're there to exemplify God. We're there to do what Jesus wanted us to do. Shiva, Vishnu, Buddha. And, I started to merge Christianity and Buddhism lately in order to help people get closer to Christ, because I was once Catholic. And I said, you want to be closer to Christ? He's an awesome guy. He loves me. I love him. You want to be closer to Christ? The first question I have for all of you is, have you been keeping the commandments? So therefore, so if these guys get away with millions and billions of dollars, that is their karma. But just look at the good work that they have done for the billions of people, the millions and billions of people, the fact that they can do what we cannot. Thammajayo did something that I cannot, and I aspire to be like him. Of course, not to be an fugitive, but I mean, can you imagine that? The International Hall of Jidao Meditation Center, can house a billion people. I mean, that's probably a whole country. But yeah, I used to judge that way. I used to evaluate and assess. Judging is a little harsh, but I realized that everyone has their time to shine. And there is praise and there's blame and there's fame and there's defame. So, I have profiled people from a lot of religion, and again, it's according to their karma. Cardinal Darnell World was a priest of more than 60 years before they slammed him for not being a leader in handling sexual allegations. He didn't even touch anybody. He's just the cardinal. He's just the bishop that oversees priests that is doing things that he may not even be aware of. And they're like, you need to step down from bishop as a cardinal because you didn't fire them or, discipline them. And I feel so bad because I'm like, do you understand what this man can do? Have you ever heard this man preach the gospel? He can lead you to the kingdom of God based on his words, based on like one paragraph. He can lead you to the kingdom of God, and you don't even understand the whole situation. You got all these Americans jumping in, and even fellow priests that were like, you need to knock him out of his chair right now. They in turn, the magnitude of the consequences of a great leader like him was that he doesn't hold the microphone anymore. And now you wonder why you guys are losing followers in Christianity and Catholic world, because it was exactly the people like, why couldn't you overlook the small mistakes? And he probably didn't even know these guys were. And how do you verify that they actually touched these? That's law enforcement's job. That is law enforcement's job. So for the greater good, we always have to ask when we are assessing other prolific, wonderful people that also include me. I don't exempt from this. Down the road, somebody's going to accuse me of whatever, and those who knows me will know or not know. You know what I mean? It's the nature of our world. What's important is that we do the most good for the benefit of the many. And then after we die, who cares? Or we get thrown in jail or prison, who cares? Like, it doesn't throw me in prison right now, and I'd be like, I don't care if I go to prison. I will probably sit there and achieve nirvana probably faster, that I don't have to hear all the BS of the world. And, I know all the great good that I've done. You know what I mean? So our world is like that. So hopefully, we just focus on building the ashram that you want and my little beach house, which will never come to fruition, but I'll just run.
Of course it will.
Huh?
I said, of course it will.
And do the most good, because you will always be remembered. There's going to be a portion that don't like you, that hates you. There's going to be a portion that will love you to death and will support you throughout the whole way, and just rejoice in the good things that we have done as holy people, as teachers of the world, the teachers of teachers.
The reason I brought this up was we know really great and amazing spiritual gurus that from the beginning, that they never come up, they never become, their teaching doesn't really become there. And we see some different or flashy spiritual gurus that when you listen to them, the level of the way they respond or their teaching, it's not really to a level of raising consciousness, and they get so many people to follow. And I get that, because I was doing my Farsi live the other day, and I said I divide people into 3 groups. Group number 1 are those who are asleep and they don't even know that they're asleep, and they have absolutely no intention to wake up. We have the 3rd group, which are the groups that are enlightened, and they don't have the need to come to me or do anything, because they come from such a higher vibration that just being at their present and in their silent, they can raise your consciousness. And then there are these huge middle that are looking for the truth. They're searching, they want to become enlightened. They're going from one guru to another guru. They're on Instagram going, following this page, and they're listening to the other one. And those are the most lost souls that are still into this level of, is my aura clear? What is wrong with my chakra and this and that? And I said, I am the teacher for this huge middle group. The one who are asleep, I have nothing to do with them. They have chosen to be asleep. The enlightened one don't need me. They are already enlightened. So it's this middle group that they are. And the reason I talked about Sadhguru and this is because this middle group are always, they're interested in awakening, but they're going to a different directions that they're still talking about karma. And I'm saying karma is the third dimensional teaching. Chakras and auras are all about third dimensional teaching, because once you move up to the fifth level, and especially to the up to the eighth level, you don't even have a physical body to have chakras and to have auras, because you're extended and you are one with everything. So if a guru is still talking about your karmas, or if someone is telling you about, in this lifetime, this is what I'm getting, that as a soul, we are experiencing many different lives right here, right now. Because if you move to fourth and fifth dimension, the concept of time and space will totally disappear. The time and space is only being experienced in the third dimension, right? So once you move to the fourth, fifth, sixth dimension, the concept of time and space will disappear. Then you don't have a past life or past lives. Everything is being experienced in real time, right here, right now. That means my soul is being Dalai Lama, and in this life, to the parallel universe, I'm the bum who's begging for money in India. The soul has multiple experiences. So my whole point is, this middle group get constantly going after the wrong, supposedly gurus, get lost, and they have so much this urge to awaken, and they never reach that. That's what I'm trying to say. So some people, in their silence and in their emptiness, they can really hear what I'm saying.
So it's something that I think all of us spiritual teachers think about when we go to sleep at night. The fact that we want to help, and we see clearly who is awake and who is not awake, and who is sleeping, or who will come to us and then revert back to their old days. And one of my students just told me this days ago, actually, very insightful. I told my student, I said, this NFT things is, I'm gonna get so much blame from it, and blah 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 blah. And the student said, Venerable, focus on the quality, not the quantity. Go back to your practice. They will find you. They will find you. See, I was trained at my school, Edgar College, for systemic change. Literally, I like to, systemic change. And that got to my head, actually. Not that it got in my head, the fact that, I feel helpless. I'm not doing my best. Like, I have the opportunity to do great, but I don't think I can be greater, blah, blah, blah. But then I went back to Ajahn Chah, the forest Thai monk that had no phone, that had none of this stuff that we have now. And yet people all around the world went into the forest to find this man you couldn't find him. He then went in and he cultivated. Right now, his students are pretty enlightened. They're suspected to be saints. Ajahn Amaro, Ajahn Tayasaro, Ajahn Jeff. And so you got like handful, literally like 5 or 6 of them spread out around the world with their monasteries. So one has to really think that, oh, if we sharpen our practice, our skills, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, they will come looking for you, and only you, because you resonated with them in some way. You touched their heart. You touched their eyes and their heart. They see it with their eyes and they see it with their heart. And I was so comforted when my student told me that. A 22-year-old student told me, Venerable, just focus on the quality, not the quantity. And it hit me so hard. And and that's when I went to the beach and I laid down, reflect on what rejoice answer, because I was then the student and he became the teacher. And I was like, I'll be damned. I will be damned. I'm going to go back and meditate, and the whole world will feel it, will see it, will watch it, and so is you. They're going to be watching you. They're going to be hearing you. They're going to be internalizing your teachings. We can't save them all, Sudi. We can't save them all. The ones who are ready will come forth, and they will come and they will stay. They will come and they'll stay. What I learned about my retreat was that they come and then they go, because once they learn the past, the first or the second, they don't want to hear it anymore. It's a lot of walls that they have that is already there, and I'm trying to break these walls, but I can only do so much. I'm gonna exhaust myself. So don't worry. I mean, your time will come, my time will come, our time will come whenever it comes. If we desire so much, we in turn cost us our own peace.
Yes. It was lovely seeing you again. I really seriously missed you. So we'll be in touch. We're going to start looking Florida for you, Tampa especially for you, because you promised to take us to that wonderful, mysterious, hidden place. And we all going to have a better skin and we all going to look like you. So till next week. Till next week, we're gonna let you know next week when our joint live is gonna be with a couple of more people. So be ready. We'll see you next Thursday. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Love and peace. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you, Judy.
Bye. See you next week. Bye bye. End the live. They told me not to save it. Okay, bye everybody. Love you. Bye bye.